Trump wants a parade, but this Saturday, the resistance is bringing revolution. Are you in? I'm Jim Drastic.
I'm Tiffany Drastic.
I'm Nick Knudsen.
And we're the dangerous ones. This Saturday, June 14th, is No King's Day, a national day of resistance, not a birthday for a wannabe dictator.
Yeah.
While Trump throws himself a military parade in D.C. for his 79th birthday, millions of Americans are hitting the streets in over 1,800 cities to say, we don't do kings in this country.
Nope.
Damn straight.
We don't do fascist parades, tanks on Main Street, or presidents who demand obedience. This movement is bigger than one person. It's about resisting authoritarianism and reclaiming democracy and reminding this Supreme Court that crowns aren't real.
Nope.
From Love Park in Philly to downtown Fayetteville, from L.A. to Little Rock, people are rising up peacefully, powerfully, and together. And on today's episode, we're counting down the top 10 things everyone should know before attending their local No King's Day protest. We're trying to put together a little bit of like political, protesting etiquette, best practices. It's a great top 10 list.
Absolutely.
And some of this definitely comes from experience.
For sure.
Stuff we've done out in the field.
Yep. And
so,
a lot of people, this is their first time protesting. So it's important to share these tips and tricks.
And not only that, there's going to be a lot of families out there. There's going to be kids out there.
Want everybody to be safe, be comfortable, and be prepared.
And have fun.
That's right. And so these tips are meant to make everyone and keep everyone safe. Number one is know your rights. You have the right to protest in public spaces. Remember that. You have a right to be there. And also, you have the right to photograph the police. They can't stop you. You're allowed to photograph them. That's good to know.
That is good to know.
And you have the right, if for some reason you were to be arrested or you purposely were arrested because you didn't, leave the street because you're doing a sit-in or something like that, you have the right to remain silent. That's a good one to remember because remaining silent can be one of the most important things you do at a protest. What are your thoughts on knowing your rights?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the point about photographing police is really important. Like, have those cameras out, document everything. Part of that is capturing the feel and the vibe of the day.
For sure.
But also, it's about staying safe and making sure that everybody's held accountable. So
that's a good point.
It's important to show up in solidarity with each other. You have the right to peaceful assembly, like you were saying. It's important that we all flex it and we all show it together. It's important that we stand up for each other.
Fantastic. Number one, know your rights. What is number two?
Number two is dress for anonymity and also comfort. Depending on where you're going to be, it might get too hot, it might get too cold. So you want to have jackets, you want to have blankets for the kids in the morning if your protest is early. I highly suggest wearing tennis shoes while marching. I don't think heels are a very good idea.
You have protested. I've watched her protest for miles in high heels.
I thought we were just going to stand there with signs. I didn't know it was fucking 3 miles.
You were blowing the sexy meter up.
Oh God, there's one frame that still exists, and I'm like, oh God, look how young I was.
You look great.
God dang it,
you were killing it. Yeah, but that's a good point. Dress for anonymity and safety.
Yes, there's a lot of that. Mask up. Surveillance is real. COVID is too. You want to protect your privacy. It's also important. Bring sunscreen, depending on where you are, how long you're going to be out there. Exposure is real, and you don't want to get burnt, especially on your scalp. Bring a hat, all kinds of things like that.
I would say it's no different than going to a festival concert.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Act like you're going to a big concert with a lot of people, then you're going to be outside all day long. We've been to those.
Yep.
And it's like dress in layers,
Big crowds outside, pack accordingly.
Yeah. Nick, what is number 3 on our list?
Number 3 is lock down that phone.
Yeah.
It's really,
love it.
It's really important. You never know what's going to happen during a protest. It's just true. And to be safe with your personal information, like turn off your Face ID. So if something weird happens, somebody couldn't use your face to unlock your phone, make sure that you have a really good passcode on there. And you want to keep all your the photos of your kids and your bank account information, all that super safe. So just like lock that baby down.
The only thing I would add to that is I'm a big fan of putting my wallet in my front pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not even just that, you know, it's not a trust thing even. It's more of like, you're around a lot of people. You're bumping up against a lot of people. You're moving around and it's just loosely in my back pocket. It can just slide right out.
Yep.
And that's the last thing anybody needs. But that's a good point. Lock down your phone. Good point. Number 4, I love this one. I'm a big fan of is pack a go bag.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, again, you're going out to, at least here in Portland, it's going to be sunny. So it makes sense to bring plenty of water. Make sure to bring plenty of water. High protein snacks, snack bars, things like that. First aid kits. It's always good to at least bring some Neosporin, some chapsticks, some Band-Aids, and some sunscreen.
Yes.
Bring cash. Avoid credit cards. You never know what's going to pop off. Cash is king. And also, a lot of times there's vendors at these protests that sometimes only accept cash, and sometimes you might want to buy a shirt or something like that. Bring extra masks and gloves. This is especially important because we're in a post-COVID era. Bring some masks. Gloves are always important too, because you never know. You just never know what the hell you're going to touch, grab at a you know what I mean, at a protest. You're sharing, you're touching a lot of things, you're passing things around. Bring a Sharpie marker for emergency contact info. This is, I actually would say bring a Sharpie because you could be making an impromptu sign. You could be helping other people out. Sometimes you're even writing on T-shirts. Like, you know, Sharpie is a good one.
Sharpie's kind of like duct tape. It's like, just have it. You know, just have it with you.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Tiff, what is number 5?
Number 5 is know your terrain. So look up the parade route ahead of time or your protest route ahead of time. Know where all the side streets are, where the exits are. Just for safety, if something pops off on the corner, you want to get away from that. If you get too hot or too cold, you want to know
where your shade spots are.
Or if there a place on the corner, a restaurant you can pop into or a cafe you can pop into for just 10 minutes, cool off the kids, bathroom break, whatever. Just know your exits.
Love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really important. You know, you want to feel comfortable. You don't want to have to overthink like where you're at or whatever. So just like having a plan and knowing where you're at. Yeah.
And truth be told, even for people who have a little bit of like maybe social anxiety and stuff, it's always good to know. I mean, it helps me calm down a little bit to know where am I going, what's around there, where's the freeway, where's the parking. You know what I mean? It's good to know these things, and it helps bring your kind of anxiety meter down a little bit.
Totally.
Nick, what is number 6?
Number 6 is don't engage with agitators.
Love it.
You know, okay, so it's in all likelihood the people who are trying to create havoc at these overwhelmingly peaceful rallies are people from the other side, you know, or they're people who have a different agenda from you. So like stay away. You know, if you see something happening that looks sort of unsafe or whatever, take out your phone, you know, take a video of it, but keep your distance and just like, stay away from that. That's not what this is for. It's not helpful in this context. These events are really meant to be peaceful.
And listen to your old pal, Jim. I'm telling you, I've been to enough protests to know that I don't care if you're in North Dakota, or if you're in Wyoming, or if you're in Florida, or if you're in Portland, Oregon, there will be one guy passing by or going to walk with you who's going to agitate things. Distance yourself. That's the best thing to do is distance yourself from that. And best to not engage. They're just trying to get your go. They're trying to get you on film. Remember that too. They're trying to get you on film by doing stuff like that.
You know, the rest of us who want to be out there, who just want to show solidarity and a sign of strength, we're not at home plotting like how to blow up self-driving cars. Like none of us are doing that. We're just making signs and showing up with water and like saying hi, you know, saying hi to everyone's dogs.
And exercising our First Amendment right.
Like I just want to walk down the middle of the street.
That's
with my friends.
Right. Good point. Number 7, and I love this one, film smart. When you go to a protest, there's a couple of rules with that. Now, first of all, everybody should know that if you're going to a protest, You have to know that you might be filmed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are filming people and if you're filming like a large swath of crowd, there's generally not much issue. But if you're up close next to people and you're just holding a camera right to their face, be sure to say things like, I'm recording right now for everyone's safety.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing to let people know why you're filming them.
Yes.
And by the way, if somebody says like, look, I don't want to be filmed, be respectful. Stop filming them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, I've taken lots of cameras to lots of protests. I am very aware of when children go by and stuff. I lift my camera up and then I wait till they go by and then I point back down. Be respectful out there when you're filming. But also, the great thing about going to a protest is it's a little bit of like no man's land. You can kind of like get the great angle that you want because there's sort of no rules in a way. Everybody's kind of working off community rules.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I've run right up into the middle of the street when things are going on and there's other people filming right with me and stuff. So just get a lay of the land, be smart when you film, and be respectful when you film other people. I mean, you know this.
And if you're worried about your face being caught on camera, another great reason to mask up. And
excellent point. Yeah.
And when James and I go and film, we take turns filming. If he's in front filming first, I'm right behind him. I have my hand on his backpack and we're tight up close to each other. So I can watch where he's stepping. I can whisper to him which direction to go, what to avoid. We steer each other through and then we swap. And then I'm filming and he holds on to me and tells me where to go. It's much easier when you do it as a team.
Nice.
Absolutely. Tiffany, what is number 8 on the list?
Number 8 is to use the buddy system when you go to protests or demonstrations. Go with friends, go with family members, anyone you can find. If you have to go alone, if you don't have anyone to go with you, always use your discernment, but look for groups that are friendly to you. In Portland, it's like the blue-haired tattooed moms with like the wagons full of kids and dogs. That's how you know. If you go and just say, hey, can I walk with you? Absolutely. We pull you right in.
Yeah. I think the buddy system is a great idea. And I also think that the buddy system is a great way to bring somebody along to educate them on this matter. Yeah. Like, hey, why don't you come with me to this protest? And I tell you, once you go to one, you start to get a little bit of addicted to them.
You
know
do.
what I mean? You're like, hey, So the buddy system is a great rule because you're out there, there's lots of people. I don't know many people who protest by themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most people go out there with a buddy.
And this is just going to keep progressing. So the more you go, the more you're going to recognize other people in the crowd. And then that becomes your support group.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just in case, it probably won't happen, but if for some reason you were arrested or something like that, you got somebody who knows what happened to you.
Yep.
Yeah. I love your, like, bring a reluctant buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like somebody who's not like somebody who's out there on the street corner every weekend holding a protest sign. Like, this is an opportunity to bring more people into the fold. We need more people.
And educate them and show them, this is not violent. It's just peaceful protesting. We're carrying signs and standing up for each other.
Yeah. Bring that friend who's like, what's this about?
Yeah.
Bring that friend, right? Okay, what is number 9, Nick?
Okay, so number 9 is use your voice strategically. So there's lots of ways that you could, just marching down the street is using your voice, technically. But also, there's chants that happen, during a protest, which can be really fun to engage in. And it's like, lift that voice, you know, get loud, you know, be a part of the movement, be a part of the crowd. That's part of the experience of going to one of these. If you're a musician, bring your instrument.
You bet.
Yeah.
It's a community event. You know what I mean?
But it's a drum or guitar. Even if you're not like playing a song, you can have a beat going.
Yeah.
And that really helps people in the feel the vibe.
And I would also say that with use your voice strategically, I would also say that know when to be loud and know when to be quiet.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's times when there's speakers and, you want to like quiet down during that, be respectful during that. Yeah. But when it's time to really rally up the movement, you know to be loud and to play the guitars and hit the drum and do the whole thing. I couldn't agree more with that.
I remember here in Portland during the George Floyd protests, the die-ins, which were super powerful, where people would just lay out on the pavement.
The
the quiet.
The quiet.
And the calm is the point.
Yeah.
So.
And protesting, it's really a team sport. When people are chanting, you chant. When people are booing, you boo. When they're singing, when they're dancing, you sing and dance. You need to be involved to carry that energy, to make it bigger so it carries across to everybody else who can't be there.
Absolutely. And number 10 on our list, and I think it's the most important tip, and that is have fun.
Yeah.
You're exercising your First Amendment right. Have fun.
Yeah.
And, it's once you, like I said, once you go out there, they're kind of addictive.
Yeah.
And you're like, you feel like I'm being a part of democracy.
Yeah.
I absolutely recommend everybody go out and have fun.
Yeah.
What's happening in the world right now? Not fun.
Not fun.
Scary.
Scary.
And it's hard.
Not great.
It's hard to stay upbeat.
This is an opportunity to come together in community with people who agree with you and enjoy yourself.
My favorite thing is to say fuck you to fascism. If I can do it in the middle of the street with a bunch of friends, I'm doing it.
Sounds fun.
Just say less.
Just say less. I'd also like to add one more thing before we go, and that is I should have mentioned it during the pack a go bag. Bring a backpack. That is huge. I've been to many protests. You find yourself holding 19 different things, not to mention if you have kids with you or something like that. Bring a backpack. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're going to want to throw a bunch of things together, just it's nice to carry. Water's heavy, you know what I mean? Get a backpack. Yep. Folks, we hope these tips helped you out. No King's Day protests are coming up this Saturday. Go to nokings.org for more information about protests in your area, where they're happening, and the times that they are happening. And folks, please like and subscribe this video. If you're listening to us on audio on Spotify or Apple or something like that, please give us a 5-star review. And if you'd like to support the show, you can go to tealandorangereport.com or thedangerousones.com, and that'll both take you to our Substack where you can become a paid subscriber and help support this show. Until then, we'll see you Saturday out at the No Kings protest. We're looking forward to it. See you there.
Bye.